Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Richard, and I'm sitting number one to runway 05 at the Grand Strand Airport, which is my home airport. And this video is going to be about practicing um, the pattern at your home airport and what you have to learn, especially when you're doing practices at your home airport, which will involve knowing landmarks and so forth. So we'll get started first by listening to the weather.
Grand Strand Information Golf. 1500 Zulu weather. Wind 030 at 7. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 1600 few. 5500 broken. Temperature 23. Dew point 18. Altimeter 2987. Arriving runway 05. Departing runway 05. Advise on initial contact. You have golf.
Okay, so there's the weather. We got some few clouds. It's I think it was 1600. We're going to stay at 1000. Not a bad day for shooting patterns. It's reasonably good visibility, and so we're almost set to go. Okay, I'm going to reset the altimeter based on what we just heard. All right, so let's look around here. Nothing coming down final, and nothing hopefully on the runway. Looks good, and we're set to go. Brake, by the way, don't forget you got your brake light here to tell you the brake is on. Now brake is off, and we are going out to the runway.
Approaching runway 05.
Okay, that was my flight just telling me, yeah, I'm getting out to runway 5. Okay, I'm going to get lined up, hit the brakes a minute, do some very last minute checks. Engines are looking good. I'm going to sync the compass, and you can see it move right there. And let's check the flaps. The flaps are in the takeoff position. All the engines look in the green. I'll run it up just a little bit to make sure everything looks fine. Vacuum is good. All right, we're good to go. All right, in releasing the brake here, I'm releasing it now. That castered nose wheel starts to have a mind of its own for a minute. But once you get the thing rolling, it works just fine. So here we go. Okay, coming up to 40 knots, starting my rotation at 44, up into the air at 52 probably, and we're climbing out. Okay, things are looking fine. 60 to 65 right here, nose on the horizon. Kind of looking for 4,000 feet to put the flaps up. Okay, flaps are going up. Still going to climb 65 to 70. Just as soon get up there sooner. All right, when I get to about 800 feet, I'm going to start pulling the power back slowly, somewhere around 23 or 24. Here we go. Okay. And slowly lowering the nose to have a nice, gentle level off. Okay. Our heading is still 055, which is the actual runway heading magnetic. Okay, we're going to level off here, pull the power back a bit more, 2,000 RPM. Okay, you can see the intercoastal waterway right there. As we get over it, that's going to be my cue to turn. Okay, going to move the heading bug around to 3-2 right there and start my turn. Okay, keeping the pattern altitude is 1,035 because that's the altitude of 35 is the elevation of the airport. So we're going to try to keep everything between 1,000 and 100 feet here. Lowering the nose a little bit. Okay, rolling out on 3-2. Okay, everything looking good. All right, so you can see the double highway there. I'm looking at that for when to turn, and I'll move the heading bug as I start my turn. I'm going to put the heading bug on about 2-4 because the actual heading is 235 on the runway. 2-4 is not as bad as you might think. 2-4 is going to be able to keep me at the right distance from the runway at this point. The throttle crept up on me there a little bit. I'm descending back. Okay, you see the double highway there, and I want to stay outside or inland of the double highway. Power's looking good. We'll look to the left again here. There's the end of the runway. Now right out here, I'll point it out to you now, right out here is a causeway that goes over the intercoastal waterway there. And I'm judging my heading based on that. I want that causeway to follow me so I can see it right down here. Okay, when the causeway gets there is where I'm going to turn. So that's an important landmark for turning base. Downwind you can judge by looking back here and see the airport. There's the end of the airport. Let me show you that again. So there's the end of the airport. We don't care about that yet, but in a minute we will look at that to be the other end of the airport as an indication of where to turn as well. Talking a lot, not watching my altitude a lot. Let's put it back up to 1,000 feet here. Okay, we're just about at the end of the runway. This is where we would put the first click of flaps in. My flaps speed is below 78, so I can put the first click of flaps in. Okay, first click of flaps are down. Now you can see that causeway coming at us there on the left. I'm actually turning away from it a little bit, so it will be past my panel here, so I continue to watch it. And that'll be exactly where I'm going to turn. Okay, so airspeed a little low, pushing the power up a little bit. Here I want 65. I don't want to get below 60. So I'm going to push it up a little bit and then pull it back. So we got 65 and we're on altitude. Okay, let's look behind us a little bit there. Okay, not quite ready to turn. and that's why I use the landmark. So by the time we get to the landmark here, it will be time to turn. Airspeed is good, a little low. I'll punch it up slightly. Don't need to climb any, so I'll put my nose back down a little. There we go, 65 to 70, power back a little. Okay, now I like to do this. I start my turn and then I'll lower the flaps. So here we go, starting the turn. 15 degrees of bank is really all you need, 20 sometimes, but there goes the flaps. Gonna keep the nose down and trim. Flaps are confirmed down full. Don't want to start, I can lose a bit of altitude here, but I don't really care to, don't need to. We'll roll out here. And you see that little lake there just coming into view? That's another landmark for when to turn final. You're going to turn before you get to it, but we can watch it over here. There's the runway. And if I lose a bit of altitude here, that's okay. I'm going to push the power up a little bit because I want to maintain 60. And actually I'll start pulling the power back a little and start descending. Okay, it's almost time to turn. 1, 2, 3, turn. Small descent rate is just fine here. 300, no more than that. Turn and final. I can even shallow my bank here to cut back into the runway a little bit. Okay, I'm going to lower the nose and pick up a 500 foot per minute rate of descent. Okay, a little more descent, a little less power. There's 500. Airspeed coming back to 60. Lining with the runway.
1 mile final runway 05.
That's ForeFlight telling me I'm on a 1 mile final. That's about right, maybe a little shorter than that. Okay, 500 foot. Aim point's a little short. That's because I want to get down to at least one red vacillate, just as I said it. It's trying to turn red anyways. Okay, we'll keep it at 500 feet a minute, and we'll realign to the runway here. Really a nice feature of this airplane flying final at somewhere between 55 and 60 indicated. Okay. So, last check here. Flaps are good. Airspeed is good. Descent rate is good. Alignment can be a little correction here. Airspeed coming down to 55, which is okay. Between 55 and 60 as we get to short final here is just fine. Okay, 1 vacillate looking good. My aim point is looking good. Airspeed is a little low. Gonna touch the power up just slightly and then pull it back. All right, good alignment, good aim point. Good airspeed at 55. Okay, so as we get closer, the VASI lights should turn mostly red. I'm a little high here, but that's better than being low. All right, getting ready to pull the powered idle. Can pull it a little early. I got a little extra airspeed here. Okay, power's idle. Maintaining directional control with the rudder. Slowly raising the nose. Okay. Landed on. Sometimes you, with this airplane, you land on all three wheels. I try to land on two. I think I barely made it that time. Okay, there's my taxi line for turning off. I'll turn off here. And as I'm taxiing off, I'll put up flaps. Okay, tell the tower, which you can see right over there, that we are clear of the runway. So I will, actually I should pull up to where the hold short line is, stay in on the yellow line here, and come to a stop. Okay, so here's where we do all the other after landing and so forth checks. The important one is the flaps are up, all the engine instruments are good, we're good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll do all the rest off camera. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.